All right, welcome to Winning Playbook Real Estate Edition this morning. Just a reminder of the rules. We're all realtors here and we abide by the code of ethics. This is a collaborative environment. Love to have you guys turn on your cameras if you're able to. If you're shy and aren't in a place to turn on your camera, that's all good. Use the chat box for any questions or comments, and I'll address those along the way. Today we're talking about personality and personality types and how that can help you in your business and kind of your day-to-day life and what that looks like. I've taught some in-classroom classes on this before. With a full exercise. Today, we're just going to kind of do kind of a little brief overview thing. Some of you guys have attended it. I think others are new and have not, but there's so many different studies and personality systems and tests out there. Some of the ones that you may be familiar with are Enneagram, Myers-Briggs. There's one out there that I learned about doing my research yesterday called the Big Five. And then two that I'm pretty familiar with and pretty well versed in are DISC and Merrill-Reed. These couple studies that are very similar. Those studies are very similar. They just use a little bit different terms, but we'll kind of walk through that a little bit today. But who on here knows their personality type in any of these types of studies or tests that I'm talking about? Anyone like to share? Well,
depends on the day.
What's that?
Depends on the day.
Right. Well,
I remember.
Go ahead, Steve.
I remember doing that class in the office, but I don't remember what type of mine was, to be honest with you.
Okay, all good, man. Well, when we talk about DISC, typically you're going to be high in one or two categories. You're going to be pretty high, even in the Merrill-Reed, and then the other two are a little bit less. For me, when we talk about DISC, I am a high I or high D. So, and we'll kind of talk about what those terms are. But a D, along with secondary S, it would be my personality type. And when we talk about a DISC, if you talk about it in Merrill-Reed, it's a driver amiable in the Merrill-Reed study. So
when we got into that, Corinne,
what's that?
Sorry to interrupt. When we got into that, when we did the class, I've done a couple of them.
Yep.
The biggest factor is the chameleon effect. It really depends on your environment and who you're like the person you're around. Each client is different, so who you are in relation to basically who you are is going to depend largely on who they are.
Yeah, so we're going to touch on that. Like, how do you adjust yourself or your natural tendencies to the people around you to communicate better and to get your point across a little bit better. Obviously, in our industry, we are talking to folks of all different kinds of personalities. There's many of us that are way different from others. There's no wrong way. It's just God. It's pretty much built us differently from natural tendencies from one way or the other. So we'll just kind of touch on what that looks like and then how it might be able to help you in your business. Obviously, this is interactive and collaborative, so you can raise your hand or say, excuse me, I'd like to touch on that. I will probably ask a couple questions along the way. I do have I know it's a little different than other winning playbooks, but I do have a PowerPoint. Since I taught this class before, I'm just going to kind of touch through that PowerPoint fairly quickly. Let's see if I can get it to work here. Can you guys see the screen?
Yes, I can see it.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
can see.
Good. All right. So it's obviously not April 19th, but we actually did this April of 2023. So we're up on a year again. So this is kind of a good time to do it. Well, today we're in here, we'll talk a little bit about, we're going to talk more about Merle Reed. But just so you guys kind of know how it translates to DISC, I'll mention that along the way. And you know, why is that important? Like we just kind of talked about, it's important in knowing who you are and then how you could potentially come off against other people when you're talking to them. Because of your natural tendency and who you are, you may come off a certain way to others, and because of their natural tendencies of who they are, they may receive that, you know, a little bit differently than you were intending, right? So driver first. This driver is also dominant or D, but this is the same letter, obviously in the DISC. So these folks are going to be very confident in what they do, goal-oriented, decisive, very determined, results-driven, direct and short in their communication, and tend to like to work kind of independently. They love to be in charge. So you're going to see these folks as entrepreneurs. You know, they're going to be CEOs of companies. They're going to be directors, that type of thing. They're going to smile at you, but they're going to not, you know, be huge smiles and in pictures. So as you're doing your Google searches on folks, as you look to meet them, pay attention to the things that their pictures and what it looks like. They're going to have strong quotes and that type of thing. Wear more dark colors, power colors, blacks, blues, that type of thing. To kind of give you a general tendency on who these folks are. They're not going to step out too crazy in their color choices or that type of thing. The expressive. So the expressive term is underneath Merle Reed. I is in DISC. These people love to be the life of the party. They're outgoing. They have walk-up songs. So these guys are, you know, storytellers. They natural building relationships. Love to talk and love to be around people. They're driven by being around people. They like to wear bright colors. You know, Steve wore a yellow tie on Friday night. I mean, that dude is like, look at me, I'm the guy. In general, right? He's a high I, but he obviously has a strong secondary trait as well. They love to have external recognition. These folks typically get more things done by accident than on purpose. They're just out there loving life. I think some good things to think about as you're meeting new people or looking at their pictures. They have big smiles. They tend to be in the front of the pictures. You know, they like to be have very vibrant colors in those in their normal dress as you see them walking around. You know, they're going to tell a long story about the life that they had or where they're at. So when you're going on a listing appointment, you know, these folks are going to tell you, you know, everything about the memories and all the great things that happened in that home, typically. amiable or stable. These folks are definitely people oriented. They're friendly, they're pleasant, sympathetic, kind, easygoing. Try not to have any type of conflict. Very calm and diplomatic in the things that they're doing. They're not going to take any bold chances in their clothes. Typically, they're definitely going to smile, but they don't want to have. They don't want to be the center of attention. They love to support. They're great at support roles, um, and they don't really want to draw a lot of attention to themselves. They're all a part about helping everyone win, and being that in that support type role. Tend to be maybe administrative, customer service, that type of thing. They love plants and flowers. They love nature. They got usually will probably have pets that they love to take care of, and pictures of their loved ones, kind of all around. Family's important to them, both on social media and in their home, as you tend to go into their home and meet them. And then analytical or C's. The analyticals and C's, these folks are very serious. They're conscientious, they're consistent, they're critical thinkers. They're polite, yet reserved. They tend to be more task oriented than people oriented, usually very organized, love to follow the rules, love to have steps, given direct steps. They like statistics and charts. When you're doing that CMA, make sure that you have all the data there for them. The charts, they're going to love the charts. The eyes or expressives could care less about the charts. Those folks rather you make them feel good and you're good to go, right? The C's and analyticals, they're going to want to focus on fact more than feeling. They're going to wear more earth tones, colors, browns, tans, greens. They will not want to be in the picture at all. They would rather not have their picture taken. And if they are in the picture, they're going to be, kind of in the back, just not super excited about, that thing. But they'll be fine in group pictures, but definitely not individual pictures. They are going to be skeptical about the things that you tell them. They're going to want to fact check you, mostly, in your presentations or the things that you're talking to them about. And they're very black and white. There's not a, hey, let's see how it goes kind of thing. That's just, that'll stress them out in the process. So after hearing about some of this, do you think you guys can identify yourself a little bit with one or the other? Would anybody like to share?
I think I'm all of them.
I'm for sure the amiable.
Yeah.
1000%.
Yep. Michelle, you wanted to share?
I said, I think I'm all of them.
Well, yeah, we all tend to be, and I think as you get more experienced in this and understanding personality types, you're gonna probably be all of them at certain points. One thing I did want to touch on is, and this will kind of go a little bit more in the maybe help with identifying these personality types again. I know I touched a little bit about it with the D's. Again, the D's are going to be more entrepreneurs. They're going to be founders of companies, executives, operations managers, sometimes some police officers, directors of companies, attorneys, that type of thing. The I's are going to be more like public relations and creative directors and travel agents. About 60 to 70% of realtors are I's or expressives. Artists, musicians, copywriters. When you look at S, that's going to be human relations, therapists, counselors, like I said, admin staff, customer service staff, that type of roles. And then also like nurses and dental hygienists, that type of thing. Physician's assistants. Your C's are going to be more like your engineers, your software developers, your financial analysts, your accountants, systems administrators, that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm working with an engineer right now. I met this guy in November, and it's a rehab on his property to get it where it needs to be. And he is really stressed out about, the order of how the rehab should go. And he's calling me every so often. And he like took my spreadsheet that I gave him, which I knew he needed to have, and he's modified it into some wonderful color coordinated, but just for him and his brain, like that's how that works. So I knew that from the beginning, and, flooded him with tons of data, for him to make an educated decision. But also he's got some anxiety about the unknown of what his home's going to sell for, and making the risk and assessment of dumping 35,000 into his house to sell it. But I've been able to earn his trust through, providing him with data and statistics, and speaking his love language with spreadsheets and all that fun stuff. So let's see. I want to see if I need to highlight anything else. When we're done here, you'll get on the sheet that'll be in the winning playbook. You'll have some information in there about this stuff. You'll have some web links to some great resources on these things, and even where you can take the test yourself. I'll make sure that you guys get that information. So back to the presentation. Does anybody have any other questions or comments at this point? Okay, great. Let me see if I can get this thing to go again. Can you guys see it? Okay. Cool. So how does this help you in working with others? So here's some 6 tips on how to work with amiable style people. So now that you know a little bit about who they are, approach conflict very carefully. So if you got a problem in the transaction, like try to make sure that you ease into that problem or conflict. Maybe use the D's, like myself. We need to use a few more words than just say, hey, here's the problem to an amiable style person. Make sure you get to know them, and try to connect with them fairly quickly, and get to know a little bit about their family. They'd love for you to ask them about their family, that type of thing. Consider their perspective. So many times they're going to be yes, and they're going to say, oh, they're not going to try to speak up or tend to speak up, but this is where you're going to need to draw them in a little bit and ask them, their thoughts on certain things. They're not going to volunteer that. So you're going to need to draw out their opinions. They're very private people when it comes to a conflict or any type of recognition as well. So you're going to want to be, courteous to them, but they love thank you and praise in a private setting, not in front of everybody.
Use smiley faces when you text them.
What's that? Use smiley faces when you text them?
Yeah, put lots of smiley faces in your text.
Nice. All right. When you're working with a driver, respect their time. So be on time for the meetings, or close to on time. They're not that dead set on the time like an analytical person is. So for them, they care more about their time than really your time, to be honest. So you want to respect their time, but stick straight to the facts. Be very short. You don't need to fluff into a big story. If you start into a huge story, you lost them right away. Just come straight at them with that. Follow up on your promises. Do what you say you're going to do. Be confident and show competence in what you're doing. If you hesitate too much in that competence, they may not trust you, or they may think that you don't know what you're talking about. And then, you want it to be kind of their decision. So give them a couple choices. Here's your couple choices. What would you like to do? And then that way they're still in control and feel like they're still making the decision. Okay. When you look at these personality types, and tend to be an amiable and driver have more conflict with each other than, say, a driver and expressive, or a driver and a analytical person. It's the cross quadrant. So the same for a very expressive person and a analytical person. They tend to have a little bit more conflict in their communication than, say, an expressive with a driver, and expressive with an amiable person. Working with expressive people, they love to laugh, so laugh with them. Us D's, we have to have some patience and listen to their stories. I mean, they'll talk your head off. Listen to their stories a little bit, then move on to whatever the job needs to get done. They like to think in big picture. They're not really into the details on stuff very much. You'll tend to find, and from an expressive standpoint, they don't really care about the paperwork that much. Let them feel good, have a nice story, drink their lemonade. And when they offer you food, take it. Okay. They love to be recognized publicly. They don't like to be too serious. And bonding that friendship is the most important to those folks from the beginning. Analytical. Take your time, explain things very clearly, communicate very clearly. Try not to pressure them into any answers. They need to take time to understand what they're getting into. They may have to, do their own research on whatever challenge that they're coming across in the deal. Even to hire you, that they're going to need some time. Respect their process. They do like, for you to be direct to an extent, so don't try not to fluff it up too much. Be very fact-based, and like I said, they love to kind of be on their own, understand it, fact find, and then come back in that scenario. So so how does this translate? Can you guys think of any scenarios or any situations where you feel like this has helped you in the past, or where it could potentially help you in the future, understanding where people are coming from and these types? Would anyone like to share?
I think the biggest thing for me is just reading people and just trying to figure their personalities out a little bit, and just listening to them, like you said, and let them talk, and then you can really fill them out a lot better.
Yeah. So I do this a lot, and when I interview agents, when I meet people, kind of, because I want to, like CJ mentioned, is chameleon. I want to be able to adjust myself to their communication style and what's very important to them, and paying attention to what that looks like. I think any of you, if you're thinking about building a team, that's something that you need to know about yourself and how you are going to, manage that team, how you're going to build that team, who do you want in certain roles within your team. These are very important things to pay attention to, and how you build that team and what it looks like. That's pretty much all I have today. Hopefully that helped you a little bit, and reminders. I know some of you have had this before and have thought about it. Again, I think it'll help you in your day-to-day interactions, and what you're doing. Maybe now that you know a little bit more about it, you'll see who you're tend to be drawn to, because we're going to tend to be drawn to people that are similar to us and those personality types as well. And also know that sometimes you just can't get along with some of those, and you may have to make adjustments in a transaction just because you're just not the same. But we have every personality type in our office, and if you need to hand someone over just to get a deal done the right way and keep it together, we're here to do that and support you in that realm too. It's happened a few times that I can think of over the years, where we've had to just say, hey, I tried to adjust myself. I tried to communicate a certain way with this person, but they just can't get it. But anyway, anybody else have anything else they want to share or comment on? Do we have any wins that anybody would like to share, or challenges?
I'd like to congratulate the Agent of the Year.
Yeah,
Thank you very
congratulations,
much.
Steve.
Thank you, sir. Well, I've got a win. I put a house on the market Friday, and I've just received 2 offers while I'm speaking with y'all.
Oh, nice.
Yes, one of them was above asking price.
That's great.
There you go.
What price range is that at?
I had it listed at 375.
And is that in Rutherford County?
Yeah, it's right behind the Grove, down Asbury Lane.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Did you have a lot of showings over the weekend?
I had about 15 or 16 from Friday until yesterday.
That's a good amount. So that's good to know.
Especially since it's the older subdivision and there's no city taxes.
Yeah.
Yes. And so that really helps out a lot, I think.
Right. Hey, David, did I see you had one come in at the end of the week?
Yes, he did.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, I'll have a townhouse coming up that's under 400,000, 2,300 square foot townhome on the north side of Murfreesboro. That'll be listed next week. And then I have 6+ acres, 3,300 square foot house with a shop coming up in Lincoln County in Fayetteville. That'll come up probably in maybe 2 or 3 weeks. I got an engineer working on the rehab, so who knows?
Cran,
Next
you don't
year.
go that far. You don't go that far out. What are you doing?
I know. I got bamboozled. No, no, it's okay.
I'm going to have 26-acre farm come up in Lincoln County in about 2 weeks.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Maybe we
Anybody
need
has a family looking in Blackman, I still have that townhome out there.
All right, cool. Well, you guys have a great week. And yeah, thanks for showing up and thanks for being here, and have fun.
All right, thank you.
All right, we'll see you guys.